Welcome to putting. All right, putting, there are some skills that you want to do and some setup things that you want to do. Biggest thing is that you're comfortable. The most important thing when you're putting is that you are looking down on the golf ball. You want to be able to see straight down over your golf ball. So if you have a putter that comes way up to here, it's going to be hard for you to look over it. So having a putter short enough that you're able to get your eyes above the golf ball is a big thing. If you need to get a lot of people need to get their putter cut down, very cheap to do. It allows you to look straight over the golf ball. Okay? So with the grip of a putter, it's going to be, again, preference. What most people do is use what's called a reverse overlap. So with that, if you recall, in the golf swing, your right pinky sat on top of your first finger. When you're using the reverse overlap and putting, you just swap those, okay? So those two fingers come off, pinky goes down, and your first finger of your left hand sits on top. That's the most comfortable for most people. Again, personal preference. You can hold the putter however you want. The biggest thing is that you're looking over it, and as we'll talk about here in a second, is that you're following through. Okay? So, whatever's most comfortable with grip, I would recommend the reverse overlap if that works for you. Okay? So, again, we want to make sure that we are looking down on the golf ball. Okay? You have a little dot on your putter. That's usually where you want to line it up. You want to make sure that that dot or line, sometimes there's a line here, is aimed at your target. Again, your target may not always be the hole. If you have a slanted green, you'll want to aim to let the ball come down and go into the hole. Okay, so it's not always the hole, but that's kind of a completely different lesson. So with putting, your goal is to two putt. Okay, so in the game of golf with par 3, you should be getting on in 1 and you get a 2 putt. You always get 2 putts. So if it's par 4, you should be getting on in 2 and 2 putting. Easier said than done. However, you are always allowed 2 putts. Most people go over that, and that's okay. But that's your goal, is to try to 2 putt. So when you are coming up to the ball, you want to make sure you have your eyes above it like we were talking about, and you are trying to putt within your radius of making your second putt. Okay, so when we're talking about a longer putt, that's your goal, to try to get within the radius. Right now, we're going to try and find our radius. So this is a nice little drill that will help you find your radius. And this will quickly show you where your comfort zone is of making that second putt. Okay? So this drill helps you with 2 things. It figures out where your radius is, how close you can make those putts, and it makes sure that you have your follow through, which I was just saying is a very important aspect of putting. So 2 things we need to do: looking eyes above the ball. Second thing is we want to make sure that we are having a nice follow through with your putt. Again, just like a chip, I see a lot of people come out way back here and then stop at the ball. With this drill, you're not going to be able to, because you'll hit the golf ball behind you. So it's going to let you go your 1/3 back, 2/3 forward, just like chipping, and this helps with that drill. Okay, so eyes above the ball. I am pointed my dot and my line at the hole. I'm going to go 1/3 back, 2/3 forward, not breaking my wrist, just like in chipping. Okay, so I'm going to go 1/3 back, 2/3 forward. Okay, so I've started the drill off right. So what's going to happen is you will make that first putt. Once you miss, you start over. Okay, so now I'll go on to the second one. You're placing these golf balls about 1 foot apart. That will help you, again, not go back too far. And then you'll also know, so you're going to be going out about 5 feet in total. All right, so eyes above the ball, lined up with my line and my dot, 1/3 back, 2/3 forward. Okay, I made that one, so I can move back. Okay, same thing, 1/3 back, 2/3 forward. Made that one. Fourth one, 1/3 back, 2/3 forward. I missed. Okay, so quickly you will figure out where your comfort zone is, where you can make those putts. So mine would have been the 3-foot radius, and that's kind of where most people's comfort zone are. You'll find that you make 3 of them, and then you're having to start over. So what I would suggest is making multiple lines all the way around the hole, so you don't have to pick up every single time. But this gets you good at figuring out where your radius is. For most people, it'll be about 3 feet. It'll help you not go back too far and stop at the ball. So you want the 1/3 back, 2/3 forward. And it'll help you figure out where you need to practice the most. Okay? Again, with the longer putts, once you've figured out your radius, longer putts are called what's a lag putt. So you are trying to make the ball into your 3-foot radius or whatever yours is. So with that longer putt, I'm doing the same thing. Not necessarily trying to get at the hole, in the hole. I mean, that's always a good goal. But your biggest thing is that you are trying to get it within your 3-foot radius. Okay? So there, I'm pretty comfortable with that one because that's within my comfort zone of my 3-foot radius. Okay? So biggest things putting, eyes above the ball, 1/3 back, 2/3 forward, not breaking your wrists, and figuring out where your radius is. So great drill is the 5-foot drill, setting up the golf balls so you can find your comfort zone. And that's putting.